Hello, everyone, and welcome to Module 3 of our course on AI-powered social media listening. In this first lesson, we're going to explore the foundations, what social media listening actually is, how it differs from social media monitoring, and why it matters now more than ever. Let's start with a simple question. What happens when someone posts a review about your product online? Or when there's a heated discussion about a service glitch you weren't aware of? Or maybe someone just shared a funny meme that features your brand's name. These are not just isolated pieces of content. They are data points in a vast, living digital conversation. And the practice of capturing and understanding these data points is what we call social media listening. What is social media listening? At its core, social media listening is the process of monitoring online conversations and collecting data from social platforms like Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Reddit, and more about a specific topic. That topic could be a brand, a product, an industry, or even a particular campaign. But it doesn't stop there. Listening goes beyond the collection phase. It involves analyzing that data to uncover trends, public sentiment, and contextual insights that can guide smarter business decisions. In short, we're not just counting how many times someone mentions us. We're interpreting what they mean, how they feel, and why they're saying it. This shift, from simply measuring quantity to understanding quality, is what makes social listening such a powerful strategic tool. In a world where a tweet can go viral in minutes, having real-time access to the pulse of public opinion is no longer optional. It's essential. Social listening versus social monitoring. Now, you may have heard the term social media monitoring, and it's important to distinguish between the two. While they're related, they serve very different purposes. Monitoring is tactical, it's reactive. It usually focuses on tracking direct mentions or messages about your brand, especially for customer service or public relations purposes. It answers questions like, what are people saying about us right now? And how do we respond to these individual comments? Listening, on the other hand, is strategic. It's proactive. It's about scanning the broader landscape to uncover emerging themes, sentiment trends, and long-term opportunities or risks. If monitoring is looking at individual trees, then listening is stepping back and seeing the entire forest. Let me give you a real-world analogy. Imagine you're at a party. Monitoring is when you overhear your name being mentioned and walk over to respond. Listening is when you stand back, observe the entire room, and pick up on what people are saying about the event, the host, or the atmosphere. Both are valuable, but for different reasons. The strategic value of social listening. Why does all this matter? Because listening gives you a window into consumer behavior, perception, and expectations in real time. It provides unfiltered feedback, unlike surveys or focus groups, which are structured and often delayed. With social listening, you can detect rising issues or brewing crises early, understand how people feel about your latest campaign or product launch, discover what your competitors' customers are saying and use it to your advantage, identify gaps in the market or unmet customer needs, spot cultural or generational trends that could inform your next move. And the key word here is proactive. Brands that use social listening are not just reacting to what's already happened. They're shaping what happens next. Let's break down some of the key areas where social listening makes an impact. Brand reputation management. Your brand's reputation lives online now, and it's not just shaped by your ads or official statements. It's shaped by what people say when they think you're not listening. Social listening helps companies detect negative sentiment early. Let's say a customer posts a video complaining about your product. If that video starts to gain traction, social listening tools will pick up on the surge of negative mentions or keywords like broken, scam, or disappointed. You don't have to wait until the issue blows up. You can intervene early with an apology, an explanation, or even a fix. And that quick response could turn a potential PR disaster into a win. In fact, many large brands now operate dedicated social listening centers. Think of them as real-time radar systems tracking public sentiment, share of voice, and potential risks. Crisis management. Closely related to reputation management is crisis response. Timing is everything in a crisis, and social listening provides the speed you need. During a crisis, say a service outage or product recall, social listening tools track the volume and tone of conversations across platforms. They scan for spikes in key terms, hashtags, or negative sentiment. This allows companies to act fast, issue a statement, correct misinformation, or launch a customer support campaign within minutes, not days. One example, a financial company, after experiencing a security breach, created alerts for keywords like breach, lawsuit, and lawsuit against brand to monitor re-emerging concern. Their listening setup gave them the jump on any renewed online attention, allowing them to prepare a rapid and consistent response. Listening, in this case, becomes a form of real-time risk intelligence. Customer engagement and service. Let's move from risk to opportunity. Social listening isn't only about avoiding bad press. It's also about engaging customers in a meaningful, human way. When you actively listen to your audience, you begin to understand their humor, their slang, their memes, their frustrations, and their passions. This lets you engage with them more authentically. Let's say a customer posts, "I can't believe how good the new brand product is," but doesn't tag you. A monitoring-only setup might miss that. But a listening tool set up to scan variations of your name will catch it, and your team can reply, "Thanks, we're so glad you're enjoying it." Maybe they get a coupon. Maybe they become a lifelong customer. According to surveys, more than half of consumers say the most memorable thing a brand can do on social media is be responsive and attentive. Listening powers that. Product development and innovation. Here's another powerful use case, listening as a driver of innovation. Nike, for instance, once picked up on a joke made by a late-night talk show host about a hands-free sneaker. The idea gained traction online. Nike's team was listening, and they ran with it. They actually designed and launched a hands-free shoe, inspired directly by social media conversation. That's the power of turning listening into action. Similarly, brands have used listening to pick up on frustrations. For example, people complaining about resellers making it impossible to get new sneakers. Nike took that feedback and implemented anti-bot measures in their online store. Again, the brand didn't just listen, they acted. Campaign strategy and cultural relevance. Another area where listening truly shines is in shaping marketing and creative strategy. Let's say you're a sustainable fashion brand. Through listening, you discover that your target audience is buzzing about slow fashion, recycled fabrics, and climate-conscious choices. You now have validated language and topics to incorporate into your campaign. You can also find out which hashtags are trending, which memes are resonating, and what tone your audience appreciates. Dior, for example, listened closely to online conversations and spotted the rising global influence of K-pop. That insight led to partnerships with K-pop stars, boosting their reach, especially among younger consumers in Asia. That's strategy born from listening. Even the timing of campaigns can be improved. Ben & Jerry's famously listened to weather conversations to time their ice cream promotions with hot days. Listening helps you be not just smart, but timely and relevant. Listening in practice, the toolkit. Of course, you might be wondering, how do we actually do this? While that's something we'll cover more deeply in future lessons, let me preview it briefly. Social listening involves specialized tools, software platforms that automate the process of tracking mentions, keywords, hashtags, and sentiment across millions of posts. These tools aggregate the data and turn it into dashboards that help you make sense of what's being said, by whom, and with what emotional tone. You can set up alerts for specific keywords, like your brand name, product names, competitor names, or industry terms, and monitor how the volume and tone of those mentions change over time. These tools may include sentiment analysis, influencer identification, and even AI models that help detect fake news or coordinated campaigns. Key takeaways. To summarize today's lesson, social media listening is not just about watching, it's about understanding. It captures the why behind the conversations. It differs from monitoring by offering broader, deeper, and more strategic insight. It plays a vital role in managing brand reputation, detecting crises early, engaging with customers, driving innovation, and shaping campaign strategy. Brands that listen not only react faster, but connect more meaningfully with their audiences, and that's what builds loyalty. In our next lessons, we'll dive into how AI enhances this process, the tools you can use, and the specific techniques for extracting and interpreting listening data. But for now, take a moment to reflect on this. What are people already saying about your brand or the topics that matter to you that you're not hearing? Because if you're not listening, someone else is. Thank you for your attention, and I'll see you in Lesson 2, where we are going to explore the role of AI in social media listening.